All right. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everybody who's watching this. I'm Larry Lopez. I'm the principal at Del Mar High School. And with me today is,
I'm Kyra Durant. I teach in the social science department at Del Mar, and I'm also the EdTech TOSA. And I was a part of the district's reopening committee when we started meeting about reopening school in the fall.
great. And we've gotten a lot of questions from students and parents and community members about what does next year look like. And while we don't have all the answers, we at least wanted to try to address as many as possible, even if we don't have the answers, just so that we can give you some sort of communication and let you know where everything is and what's still being talked about. So I thank you, Kyra, for joining us. And we're going to dive right in. This will probably be about like a 20-minute video or so, so be on the lookout, but we'll definitely probably have more of these as we get more information. So continue to be on the lookout when we're asking more questions or needing more feedback. So thank you to everyone who participated, and if you didn't get a chance, there will be more opportunities at a later time. So first, I think the biggest thing that people were asking is it seems to be around schedule and specifically what do classes look like, what will times be like, what's the first day of school. Those are a lot of the questions we have. So I'm going to share my screen so that you can see a sample schedule of what is currently being discussed. But again, this is just what came out in the board meeting. It still has to get formally approved, but we at least wanted to give you sort of an idea of what we're kind of guiding everything off of. So I'll go ahead and share that right now, and we'll walk everyone through it. So for our distance learning schedule, what you can see is it's sort of broken up kind of similar to how it was when we were in regular school with an A day, B day model. So on Mondays, it would be your first period followed by your second, third, and fourth. And then on Tuesday, fifth period, sixth period, and seventh period. So this would be how your Monday and Tuesday look. And then it's also mirrored in your Thursday, Friday. The places that you'll see for Tuesday morning and Friday morning around IEP meetings, this could be possibly built in time where teachers could have meetings and stuff. So that's an idea. Also, if you're looking at the 2:30 to 3 o'clock, you see individualized teacher outreach or office hours. Office hours are a real priority for both our staff, our students, and for our families. So I think just looking at, is this something that we can have, and building time around it, I think is really important. The one different thing that you'll see is Wednesday is kind of our staff meeting, course alike meetings. So this is kind of a little different because I think when we were in distance learning, we typically saw this on Monday of last school year. So we're looking at Wednesday having it. There's a couple reasons I think why Wednesday tends to work well. And again, none of this is final. It's just kind of what's being talked about now. But the nice thing about Wednesday is we heard from a lot of students where you get assignments on Monday and then it's due so quickly, or Tuesday. This kind of gives a nice little buffer, and also doesn't allow anyone, students, to check out on like a Friday or a Monday and have kind of a 3-day weekend. So it really balances things out where you have your classes, you have a little almost break or catch up, or maybe there's work that you could be doing in other classes or videos that you need to access. It gives you that flexibility and that opportunity to do it, while also giving teachers an opportunity to plan, brainstorm, and put out meaningful and quality lessons to our students as well. Kyra, did you have anything to add about the schedule? And again, this is all just a possibility. It's not a for sure. I think we're hoping to have a final schedule, if not by the end of this week, early next week for sure. But we at least wanted to give you guys a heads up of what it could look like based on the board meeting we had. I think it was 2 weeks ago or so.
There was a couple questions that came in on the Google form that have to do with the schedule. One was around students really wanting to know that they had access to extra help for classes. So I just wanted to again highlight that every afternoon, and again, this might look different, but the schedule does have time built into it for teacher office hours for students who want to get more individualized support. So definitely that's something that's being considered, and is really important in creating a schedule, is making sure that whatever the schedule is, that it has times in there for office hours and for students to access extra support. And then of course, we also encourage students to be working with each other in peer study groups, whatever that might look like, online or social distance, that where you guys can kind of be helping. You all can kind of be helping each other. And then another thing that came up on the schedule or on the Google form was about the fact that Wednesday, the 12th, is our first day of school. So Principal Lopez, I don't know if you want to talk about what that first day of school Wednesday might look like.
Yeah, so that's another item that's kind of still being discussed. As you can see, based on the current model schedule, since Wednesday's that meeting time, the talk is about some sort of Wednesday advisory, which you would see on the schedule for individualized teacher outreach or office hours. This could be a great opportunity. And one of the things that we're talking about is what could advisory look like? You know, we have had advisory here at Del Mar for many years, but also I think as we continue with distance learning, it's really looking at what are new ways to reinvent it and support our students and our families. And so this could be a great opportunity to start with some sort of connecting piece for both our staff and our students, but then also being able to supply students with information that they need to know to prepare. One of the questions that we've gotten brought up is how are students going to have access to some of these classroom codes and stuff. Having some sort of advisory or check-in as sort of the first day of school might be a great opportunity to front load students with all that information and to really talk about here's what the year is going to look like and here's what you can prepare for, and just building those connections and relationships and having a check-in place with at least one staff member each week.
And then I think that the district or Dr. Bravo had mentioned something about making sure that there was some orientation and information coming out for students leading up to that first week of school that would give more specifics about what that first day might look like and how our students are going to get all of that information about where to go on Thursday when first period starts.
Yeah, and just
okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, just kind of to piggyback off that, I know that the district's working on sending out information about registration that should be coming out very soon, probably in the mail, if not by the end of this week, early next week. And we're also sending letters home to give people an update about what registration would look like. It's going to be online, but we are going to have opportunities, especially for our incoming freshmen, to make sure that they have opportunities to pick up Chromebooks. And then also our Dawn's Crew leaders and advisors are planning what freshman orientation would look like. And of course, it's not going to be a live and in-person orientation, but it's a chance to really get to know, answer questions with some of our amazing Dawn's Crew leaders and really feel like you're starting off the year right with those connections and relationships.
Mm-hmm. And for those of you who are incoming freshmen or the families of incoming freshmen, there was a question that came up a couple times about access to technology. We have a well-established one-to-one program at Del Mar. So all of our students who are currently 10th, 11th, 12th graders will continue to have access to their Chromebooks, and Chromebooks will be distributed to all of our 9th grade students as well. So every student at Del Mar will continue to have access to Chromebook, charger. There is access to, if students need a hotspot or need access to internet at home, we have lots of systems in place to make sure all of our students have access to Chromebook and the internet. There was quite a few questions about sports. Is that something that you want to talk about?
Yeah, so currently from the guidance we've gotten from CIF, who sort of oversees all of California sports at the high school level, they have revised the scheduling so that fall sports would essentially start during the winter tentatively. So you're looking at football season starting December, January, possibly, depending on where things are given that time. So all fall, winter, spring sports have been shifted. So we're looking at what's the next guidance on that. When can we continue practicing? Will there have to be changes to the practice schedule? And so those are all things that we're still continuing to get guidance on. The information from CIF just came out this week. So we'll constantly be updating families and everyone with what those next steps are.
And then related to that, there was some questions about other extracurricular activities besides sports, like band and theater.
Yeah, so this one is a tough one. We go off of Santa Clara County's public health information that came out, and one of the things that it said is not allowing aerosol generating activities. And one of the things that they highlight specifically in there is band and cheer. So we can't offer any in-person band or cheer or anything that is considered an aerosol generating activity until we get some revised guidance from the Santa Clara County. So that's kind of I know that that's been a difficult thing, especially for students who are in band or wanting to get started with the band program. And I know there's so many that are getting ready for band camp coming up. And so I wish I had better news for that, but we haven't received any new guidance. But again, things continue to change daily. So as soon as we get new guidance on some of these things, hopefully we'll be able to open up more possibilities for our students.
Okay, I think there was just one other thing. I just want to make sure it was clear from when we were talking earlier. There were quite a few questions still about just verifying that the first day of school is Wednesday, August 12th.
Yes, so
is that the case?
Yeah, Wednesday is the first day of school. What it will look like, I think, is the big thing that people are still talking about and figuring out. Whether it will be first day of live instruction or first day that you're meeting an advisory teacher or teacher in general, I think that's stuff that we're still working out and negotiating. But I think you can expect that the first day of school will be that August 12th.
Awesome. All right. I think we've actually covered quite a few of the questions. There was a lot about just the schedule in general, sports and extracurriculars in general. Is there anything else you wanted to say about registration or orientation?
So registration orientation, we're definitely going to get some information out about that by early next week. So definitely keep an eye on that. Our office, we are physically here. So if there's anything that you need, feel free to reach out to us. I know we've gotten a couple questions about work permits. So we are still going to be able to issue work permits. So that's something that we'll still be able to do. Right now, they're currently available through our district website. So if you need one right now at this point, definitely go onto our district website to access one. But once school starts back up again, those will be things that we'll be able to do on campus with some of our limited staff that we do have. I think that there was a question. Oh, so go ahead, Kyra.
Oh, I was just going to say there I don't see it on here right now, but there were some families who are wondering what they could do to provide, if there are families who wanted to help or support the school, what kinds of, are there anything that you can give them guidance on how they might be able to do that, or just stay posted?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, so I'm going to talk to our PTSA president tomorrow regarding some of the how do we connect and get support. I think this is a great opportunity for us to find out who in our parent community is able to help and what ways we can get help, because I think this is definitely a different time. And we definitely, when we moved into distance learning, there were a lot of challenges that we faced, and the one sort of shining light through all of this is we have our community really wanting to step up and help in different ways. And so we are definitely looking at how that can be and how we can utilize people. So I think we'll definitely have opportunities and options. And the best thing I could say is continue to check our website for additional information. Our social media platforms on Instagram and Facebook, we always update those regularly. And then just feel free to reach out via email or give me a call. I'm back officially, so if there's anything that I can help answer, or if there's resources that you have that you want to help us with, just let me know so I can go for next steps with that. And
I think that we have covered a lot of the topics on here. Do you see anything else that you want to?
There is a question about the amount of time for instruction.
Oh yeah,
covered that, but you know, I noticed that there were some questions about the amount of time that people are in class, and you know, I think it comes down to when we're live and in person, being in a class for an hour and a half can be challenging for a lot of people, but is doable. And I think having kids and even adults on camera and in this distance learning could be quite challenging for students and for adults to be sitting through 3 hour-and-a-half classes, or if you have a first period class, 4 essentially. And so I think this schedule reflects something that is doable. I think it also follows state guidelines with the amount of time that we're required to have. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. I know that distance learning is never 100% perfect, but I do commend our district and staff for really putting together something that what we put out is going to be a good product. And I think something that we're really committed to. And I can speak highly of our Del Mar High staff and the fact that what I've seen through distance learning and some of the things that people are talking about right now as we're talking about reopening and what that looks like and in departments is really powerful. And I think it, even though it's less time, I don't think that they're skimping anyone on the quality of education that students are going to get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think just from the teacher perspective, I know, and there's a couple questions on here about just the challenges of getting to know people and students and teachers getting to know each other in a distance learning environment. And I can speak to how many teachers and how intensely the conversations are happening around the best way to create community and get to know students. And that's really top of mind for so many of our teachers, is much more focused right now on just when we start the beginning of the year of creating those relationships and creating that community in their classrooms is just really, really important. And just to sort of rest assured that that's something that's on our teachers' minds and is top of mind, and that creating that community, and then pairing that with rigorous and equitable curriculum is also super important. And our teachers are working really, really hard right now to make sure that happens for all of our students in August.
So I think just sort of next steps is we're going to, this is our first video. We'll definitely probably do another one, especially once we get more information. we're going to try to answer as many questions. I know we didn't get through everyone's question, but we'll try to answer as many as possible and post this with the video. But we just wanted to try to best to communicate to everybody about what's going on and where we are, even if we don't have all the answers, just to give our staff, our community, and especially our students just some information about what's going on, because we are coming up at the beginning of next school year.
For people who are watching this who have questions that they want to ask after having watched this video, what's the best way for them to get those questions to you?
Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll talk to Nicole Wynn, who oversees our website, about maybe putting a Google form available, or at least a link available, so that people can continue to access, continue to ask questions, so that we can continue to have these engaging conversations about what's going on or what are the new developments. Again, I'm hoping that by the end of this week, early next week, we'll have more information about what are the specifics and what things will look like. So be on the lookout. We'll hopefully have some more information out to you early to mid next week. All right. Well, thank you so much, Kyra Durant. It was great chatting with you. And thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.